Hello, hello, my friends. It is Aldo, and welcome back to the Knights of the Nerd Republic. You know what to do, and stay profitable.
The Nerd Academy podcast is released weekly at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, available on our website at www.thenerdacademypodcast.com and wherever you listen to podcasts. You can find the Nerd Academy podcast on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. You can also help support the show by going to patreon.com/The Nerd Academy podcast, where every donation allows us to bring you more exciting content every week.
Hello there, and welcome back to Knights of the Nerd Republic, your source for, the show where your favorite nerds talk all things about the galaxy far, far away for 5 years now. You'd think I've had time to perfect that intro. You'd be wrong, bucko. I am your host, Jarod the Dark Jedi Bachman Stubbs, and we are here with a last little bout of pre-Star Wars Celebration hype. Celebration 2025 is about to happen, and we are going to be talking about what we know so far, talking about some news leading up to the convention, and what we are expecting, and also some light sizzle, but we'll get into that in a moment. I am joined by the lore keeper, the Italian stallion, the one-eyed knight, Bryce Harper, Legends, Phillies, Stan, Phillies Sport stuff, Conor Chiquiti.
Hello. And it's funny you say that because he just struck out to end the game, but it's whatever. We're facing the Giants, who I do not like because of 2010.
Well, there you go.
So
it's not just me and Conor. It is also here with our... I had an idea and then I lost it. It's Kason.
Hey!
I had something clever and then it just fluttered away like teardrops in the rain.
Happens to the best of us, Chief. Don't worry too much about it. I want you to know that when Conor told us that Bryce Harper just struck out to end the game, I literally went, ah! And then you went, ah!
Incredible.
Same noises.
Incredible. Before we jump into the show or even our sponsor, I want you guys to be aware this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday morning, I will be in Kentucky live with friend of the show and former host of Skywalking Through the League, Bill.
Say his name and he appears.
I believe in Bill Sheehy. But like I said, I'm going to be going live with Bill Friday, Saturday, and Sunday morning to recap all of the news at Star Wars Celebration so that you guys can keep up with the goings-on over in Chiba, Japan. Obviously, some of our friends are going to be there. Bill and I are not, but we're going to be making some time to do some quickie news roundups so you guys stay up to date. I'm very excited for this. I'm very excited for what is going to be coming. Holy fuck balls, my hiccups. Out of Celebration this year. We lost Conor. I think he's taking that Bryce Harper strikeout a little hard. But yeah, stay tuned for that. That'll be in the live feed. I'm also going to try to get that into the podcast feed as well daily. So stay tuned for that. Yeah, very, very excited to chop it up with Bill, and Conor is back. And you know what brought Conor back?
Short. So I don't know what it was. It might have been, it probably was my internet, because for whatever reason, your guys is when you would talk, the audio would not sync to your lips and everything.
Yeah.
And so I figured it was me. So I was like, all right, let me come back out.
There you go. And he's back. But you know what brought Conor back for real? The magic of Bloody Marys. You guys know the drill. Sunday's Bloody Mary is the most badass Bloody Mary accoutrement in the galaxy, with their 3-time award-winning spicy mix, as well as their mild and traditional mixes if the spice ain't for you. If you guys want to get your hands on the only Bloody Mary mix that can surpass a from-scratch Bloody Mary, go ahead and get some Sunday's Bloody Mary. Use the code TNAP at checkout. Use the link in the description down below and help out your favorite nerds while you do it and get 10% off the best Bloody Mary mix in the game. So, first bit of news. We have our trailer for this year. Tila! In the blood they do I still have that clip? Is that still in here?
I
I'm gonna
hope you
vamp
do
now.
because that is legendary.
I hope I do.
You
I
better.
don't think I do. No.
Oh no.
Oh
Well,
no! No way.
we'll make up for it with a different clip of Scotty at Celebration.
Jerry's gets me every time, dude.
Yeah.
Because he's probably just because like I could just see how it happened in real time where he's like getting real close, and then Scotty starts getting super close, and Jerry just backs away, being like, "Oh shit, he's for real this time."
Paul Stanley might actually kill me.
Dude,
Yeah, like shit.
We were leaving my birthday party a few weeks ago, and I was just showing Kason the clips from that week's Bomb Bad where they were showing all the Paul Stanley clips and videos at Celebration, just dying, showing Kason. Because, like, Scotty, I want to make it clear Scotty is not short, he is of average human height, but Paul Stanley's fucking tall.
Yeah.
His Paul Stanley is huge. And there are so many pictures of him where the perspective is weirdly warped that makes him look like he's 7 feet tall. Like he looks like a fucking apex predator. He looks like an apex predator. But yeah. So we got our Tila for this year's Tales of the dropping on May the 4th. It's going to be Tales of the Underworld, which is going to take us through some stories about how Cad Bane became the most notorious bounty hunter in the galaxy for a time, and for what was going on with Asajj Ventress after the Clone Wars, and presumably after the Bad Batch. So, yeah, I'm excited for this. Cards on the table. I'm less excited about the Cad Bane stuff. Only because, and it's not to say that I'm not excited to see like Cad Bane's origins and like how he became like one of the baddest motherfuckers to walk the galaxy. I can't believe that we are in 2025 and we have gotten so much of what the end of the Clone Wars was supposed to be. And we got Cad Bane and Boba Fett as like rivals in a Boba Fett TV show that had backstory that hinged on people watching unfinished animatics from an unaired season of a children's show from over 10 years ago, almost 20 years ago at this point.
Damn.
And when they opted to do half of this season dedicated to Cad Bane, they didn't opt to double dip and get Boba Fett in there and show us the time of like Cad Bane, of Boba Fett running with Cad Bane, and then their fateful duel. This isn't one of those like, I think it's bad because it's not what I want. I just can't believe that we still have not gotten that.
Yeah, now
like
you
that
mention
astounds me. That is,
I was thinking about that, and like, okay, it's because like honestly, I watched the trailer once, and that was it. I am long gone. I am cooked. I am long gone from my watch a Star Wars trailer like multiple fucking times and analyze the shit out of it. I'm cooked, guys. I'm washed. I'm like, actually, no. I guess Larry. I don't know why Larry Bird was the first athlete I thought of, but I guess Larry Bird was really good in his like 40s.
Connor's getting Wizards Michael Jordan right now.
Yeah, I'm like Wizards Michael Jordan right now, man. It's bad, and I hate it because I'm so behind on High Republic as well, and that's bad because like my fucking lock screen right now is Keith Trennis.
Hey man, you catch up when you get time. You know,
I've had time. I just don't have the motivation.
We're trying to help you.
But anyway, so I forget with Tales of the Underworld with Cad Bane's arc. Do we know that those are going to be his like what his 3 episodes are going to be? Because it's like if we don't, do you think there is a slight possibility that like, oh, we might get that duel, but probably not?
So 2 things. One, real quick, I want to preface with what I'm about to say with fuck Kanye West, he's a Nazi piece of shit. But anytime I hear about Michael Jordan on the Wizards, all I can think about.
We should have never ever let Michael Jordan play for the Wizards. We should have never ever let Michael Jordan play for the Wizards. We should have never ever let MJ play for the Wizards. Why did that happen? Why did that happen?
Maybe because my perception is colored by like all the dumb shit he said since COVID. He's a fucking weirdo, dude.
He is. He's a
Yeah.
horrible person. He's a horrible person. The last week at time of record,
Fucking thing to say at a
The-
fucking concert. Like, dude, shut the fuck up.
well, so
Right.
it not to defend him, but to explain that specific thing. Like towards the end of his show, while he was on the Yeezus tour, he would basically have this moment where he'd like let part of the beat from one of his songs play, and he just kind of like every night he'd just do this like spoken word kind of stream of consciousness thing happen.
Oh, gee, I wonder where that got him.
Yeah, we see how that ended. People went,
Yeah.
wow, this is really entertaining. And I think that was one of the shows he did in his hometown of Chicago.
This next song is called Live Twitter.
But that video, we should have never ever let MJ play for the Wizards. Why did that happen? Is one of my it's one of the funniest clips on the internet ever to me. That's right up there with flashback to the KNR, the first KNR holiday special with the Travis Scott. This ain't no motherfucking rated PG shit. This shit rated porn. Just stream of consciousness during a concert. Something happens to performers' brains and they just forget how to speak. Like
Yeah.
those are one of those sentences. They're just writing it out phonetically. This ain't no motherfucking rated no PG shit. This shit rated pause porn. It's rated porn, not XXX, not
Right.
adult, not NC-17. This shit rated porn. Fucking hilarious. Anyway,
Dude,
One
of the lines
NC-17
of all
sounds like a
time.
Star Wars blaster.
Yeah.
It does.
shooting him with the NC-17. Heyo. But no, I mean, to answer your question, Connor, after a Kanye clip and a Travis Scott quote, I don't think we're getting that with CAD. We might get a brief glimpse of it, but just based on like how the footage for the Tales stuff has been shown to us in trailers before, and just based on the limited real estate these stories have, I don't think we get that. And it's one of the things that I think Tales of the does so well is that like for the most part, it tells stories that are the most interesting told as a vignette. You know, of these little like blips of somebody on their journey. Now, we didn't cover it last year, mostly because I honestly didn't really care for it. I wasn't in love with Tales of the Empire. I was kind of meh on it. I think I had some great moments.
I still need to watch it, and I still need to finish Bad Batch Season 3.
Yes, he does. And Connor's going to continue to make our Star Wars podcast sound more and more fraudulent every time he speaks.
I will not.
But but I mean, Tales of the Jedi, I love the Dooku stuff. I think the Ahsoka stuff is a little undercooked. But I think that like this is another one of those instances where I think they have something great to do with the stories in Vignette with Ventress. Cad Bane, if we're doing a whole origin story about how he got thrown under the bus by a longtime friend and then that made him turn to a life of crime, I'm like, I don't know. That seems like a lot to do in 30 minutes in its entirety. I think we're back to I think we're doing another Tales of the where half of it is made for this storytelling format and the other half is going to kind of seem weird and incoherent. That said, I do think that if they did this little vignette style, but for Boba Fett and Cad Bane, that's perfect because you can do 10 minutes of Boba Fett and Cad Bane come together, 10 minutes of Cad Bane teaching Boba vital lessons that he will take with him for the rest of his life and learn the correct but opposite version that Cad taught him when he's a grown man, and then you can get the duel in the final chapter. With Ventress, her on the run, her helping out this young Jedi kid who might be Jordan Norwood, who might be Conor. Who's the obnoxious fucking kid from the Gathering arc?
Petro.
Petro. Might be Petro. I've seen a lot of Petro speculation. I've seen some people saying, oh, maybe he's Jordan Norwood. Time will tell. We'll see. I'm pulling for Petro. The more and more kids from the Gathering arc who survived Order 66, the better. But yeah, I'm excited for this case. And what are you thinking?
I'm pretty excited. The Tale series have been pretty good, like the other ones that we've had. So like, yeah, I'm excited to explore more Ventress stuff. I'm excited to see what else happens with her on her adventures throughout the galaxy.
I'm excited to see how they acknowledge her coming back to life.
Yes.
Like, I'm very interested to see if they're going to acknowledge that at all, or if it's just going to be, hey, I just got done helping those clones. I'm still not
Right.
dead.
Right.
Moving on, you know?
Let's just brush past that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just generally excited for everything.
Hell yeah.
I'm the noob around here. I'm the least delved, so I'm just kind of generally like, hell yeah.
I should be more delved, but live.
Exactly.
But I mean, like I said,
And also ADHD.
That too.
And motivation. Mainly motivation.
Like I said, I'm excited for this. I'm gonna give it its day in court. I'm like a little okay. Let's see what this Cad Bane stuff is about. The Ventress stuff is really exciting for me. You know, I love a like dedicated Force user who's now operating in the underworld. That's just a vibe I love generally. You know, like obviously
100%.
I did that with Fabian. You know, Kyle Katarn, Jordan Norwood. Like that's just an archetype I love in Star Wars. And seeing Ventress put in a position where she almost kind of has to act more Jedi-like during this very tumultuous time for the galaxy, I think that's very promising. So we'll see where that goes. Moving in to other news ahead of Star Wars Celebration, we got some publishing announcements. First and foremost, we have Adam Cristopher, writer of Shadow of the Sith, one of the best canon novels so far.
I also still haven't finished.
I didn't know you haven't finished that. You'd love it. The end is great.
Dude, if you think I'm bad when it comes to watching Star Wars, when it comes to reading Star Wars, oh, it's bad. I'm not Wizards Michael Jordan. I am
baseball Michael Jordan?
No. I'm trying to think of a Philly sports reference. Oh, God. Actually, no. I am Washington Redskins franchise quarterback Donovan McNabb bad.
Kason's laughing.
It was never the same.
It was. I am that bad when
same.
it comes to reading. So it's no. I am Dak. No, I'm just not. I was gonna say I am Dak Prescott. No. No. Because Dak
Prescott.
Yeah, well, yeah, in the playoffs, but like he's had some success in the regular season. I've had no success reading.
Well, hopefully this can stir you out of your slump. From comic runs to Star Wars Rebels, we've had a chance to see what Darth Vader was up to after the events of Revenge of the Sith, but just how dark is Vader's pre-A New Hope journey. The newly announced Star Wars Master of Evil by Adam Cristopher chronicles Vader's haunting pursuit for the power to conquer death. Take a look at the creepy cover reveal with art by Simon Gonard, and get your hands on this sinister story on November 11th. Here, let me screen share it so everybody can see this hideous but fucking awesome cover art. Yeah, this monstrosity here. Very like abstract, almost Cthulhu looking cover art, with the way it kind of almost has like a sinewy nature to the mask on Vader's face. I'm intrigued by this. And it's one of those situations where I was talking with a friend of the show, Eli from In a Galaxy, and
Yeah.
yeah, he made an interesting point that despite me being the Vader stan that I am, I couldn't help but agree with him on. And he said, if it weren't Adam Cristopher writing this book, I don't think I could actually be interested in it, because Vader trying to conquer death has become a storyline that has been tread and retread many times in canon now. We have the Vader Immortal VR game where all of it is about Vader trying to find a way to like resurrect Padme. We have the Charles Soule Vader comics, which are
Specifically the last arc.
specifically the last arc, which are hinged upon Vader trying to find a way to resurrect Padme. We have the Vader comics more recently where Vader finds out about the Emperor's efforts to try to conquer death with Exegol. It's a well-trodden ground. And that's not to say that there isn't ever room to like expand upon an idea. I think that the concept of Vader having to grapple with concepts of mortality are always going to be compelling. I think that I think it's very hard to put Darth Vader in a story that is all about trying to conquer death. When that is what defined why he turned to the dark side. He looks like death incarnate. The mask is skull shaped. His big moment of redemption is him laying down his own life. Like all of these things, like, it makes sense for Vader. So I'm excited to see what this story is about because it's him trying to conquer death. It's not hinting towards it being about resurrecting Padme or anything like that. I think that's an interesting angle, and especially with Shadow of the Sith kind of in the rearview mirror for Adam Cristopher, that book leans into the cosmic horror of the dark side so well, and explores those ideas of like how evil is undying, and how even when you have somebody who is being controlled by a mask that is being possessed by an ancient Sith Lord, you can kill that person and that mask will still reanimate them because the Sith are incapable of letting go, especially of their own lives. So, because we know Adam Cristopher has such a particular panache for writing Sith in this specific setting, I'm very excited to see where this goes. And I'm even excited to see if this addresses the how much did Vader know about Exegol question. But yeah,
that's true.
Connor, what are you thinking?
Like, I'm not as big into Vader as you are. But I will say, one of probably my favorite Vader story that we've gotten is the 2017 run by Charles Soule. I can never remember.
It's Soule.
Soule, okay. And I don't know. Again, I'm a very slow reader. I will probably not get to this book for a while, but I'm very excited to see what type of arc and what type of story Vader will go through this time around. And I guess when it's set, I'm always curious about that. I mean, obviously, I assume it's probably between 3 and 4, but
yeah, I mean, they're also very cagey about that in the book or in the like announcement, because it's like we've seen what Vader was up to after the events of Revenge of the Sith, but just how dark was Vader's pre A New Hope journey. So it's like, okay, so we know it's between Sith and Hope, but like, when?
Is it after Obi-Wan Kenobi?
Is it after Kenobi? Is it after he's tried and failed with the Mustafar terraforming stuff in Vader Immortal? Is this before or after the stuff with Moment in the comics? Like it leaves this very weird gap in play that like almost weirdly implies it's super close to A New Hope,
which actually
is also
would be
buck wild.
Would be wild, because I don't know what it is when it comes to like Vader or Obi-Wan stories. that basically inch up against A New Hope, that always really excites me for whatever reason. And I guess because of the fact that, like, we know how these characters are in that movie specifically, but it's like, what the fuck are they up to? Like 30 minutes
The
before. I
day
mean, we knew what
before,
Vader.
yeah.
I mean, we knew what Vader was up to 30 minutes before. He was fucking killing rebel soldiers on top of the, inside the Tantive 4, trying to get the plans. But, what about like 5 days before, 6 days before, a
Yeah.
month before? So,
I mean, and it opens
always
that
interesting.
it opens that weird question about, like, is this what Vader was up to in between choking out Director Krennic and like chilling in his Bacta tank? Like, is this
Ooh,
what
that
was
is
up?
true.
Stuff like that. So I'm very curious. Kason, your thoughts on this premise? How do you feel about kind of going over this this material with Vader again?
I know I've heard. As we stated previously, I'm not as well versed, especially as far as like reading stuff goes. I need to get better at that. Bad flaw that I have. Need to read books.
I will
Helps your brain.
share my Audible account with you. This is an open offer.
I'll have to pick you up on that. But I've heard the stories and everything about like how like Vader's tried to resurrect Padme 17 times or whatever in different ways and all that stuff. But thinking about it as like it being him trying to conquer death rather than trying to like reanimate Padme is a pretty cool idea. One of the things that I just thought about while we were talking about it is like, I know it's post when the Emperor is like originally defeated, but like if Moff Gideon had gotten access to cloning stuff, why wouldn't Vader have had access to it?
Yeah, I mean, again, it's a good point because you have to wonder, like, how far underground did the Project Necromancer stuff go?
Right.
Like looking back to the Bad Batch. Sorry, Connor. That like with the Necromancer stuff, like when Mount Tantus is fucking annihilated, where does that pick up?
Right.
How much of Necromancer is salvageable at all? Because we see it all is relocated to Exegol, and like how much of Gideon's access to that kind of thing is a virtue of, well, there's nobody here to say this belongs to the Emperor and the Emperor alone, because we see the other Moffs on the Moff Council being like, hey, you're hoarding all these Necromancer resources. What's going on here? And he's bumping up against people with that. So no, I think that's a good point. I'm very interested in if there is going to be a cloning angle here. Part of me wants it to be that more, again, like cosmic horror of like
100%.
Again, I don't like to invoke Harry Potter very much these days, but like
Voldemort type beat.
The Sith version of a Horcrux. Of like how like are you trying to how are you trying to make your living soul and your presence in the Force malleable enough to not be able to be snuffed out, and how horrifying a concept that is.
Yeah.
So very curious there. The other stuff we got announced in this same batch, we have a basically an art book, a 2-volume art book of all of Doug Chang's work from The Phantom Menace up to The Mandalorian.
Hell yeah.
We have a fun little like I don't know how to describe it. It's basically like a little cute little art book for Halloween that's Star Wars themed, called "I Find Your Lack of Candy Disturbing." We have the art of the Acolyte, and we have an essential Acolyte guide, visual guide, and then we have a let me get the title right here. I have an updated edition of Star Wars: The Blueprints, giving us like schematic breakdowns of ships and whatnot, and then we have an updated version of Women of the Galaxy coming up. So
very cool,
very exciting stuff there as well. Like I said, very excited for Master of Evil. The other thing I thought was funny was like, I know a lot of people in our circle was like, ooh, because this title leaked, and and Adam Cristopher was like, ooh, what's this about? So he's like, okay, Adam Cristopher is writing this book called Master of Evil, and I can't believe that it took me seeing the announcement to go, oh, It's the thing Obi-Wan says. You know, when you left me, I was.
See, it's a reference to A New Hope, guys.
When you left me, I was but the learner. Now I am the master. Only a master of evil, Darth. So, very clever kind of play on words there. I was excited by. But our last bit of news before we start talking celebration hype. And this is a piece of news that 4 months ago, I would not have given a damn about. But after me being completely addicted to Baldur's Gate, whole different look on this. So, Star Wars Zero Company, a new video game coming out. We're getting a tease for. We'll see more from at Star Wars Celebration this week. Recruit an unconventional team of operatives and deploy them on missions unlike any other in the galaxy far, far away in Star Wars Zero Company. The newly announced single-player turn-based tactics game developed by Bit Reactor in collaboration with Respawn Entertainment and Lucasfilm Games will share the first details about the game currently in development with attendees at Star Wars Celebration. And then we got our first look at the cover art. You guys have probably already seen it. It's the scoundrel-looking guy with a hollow of a battle droid, a Jedi that's the same species as Two Tubes, a Mando, a clone trooper, an R4 unit, then another looks like Umbaran bounty hunter. How do you guys feel about turn-based combat in games? Because that was something I didn't like until I got hooked on Baldur's Gate, and now I love turn-based tactical stuff now.
I still haven't really tried it. I haven't played Baldur's Gate, but every time I see Miss Taylor asks me when I'm getting Baldur's Gate so we can play.
You should.
Every single
You
time
should.
I've been to your house, she's like, "So, Kason, when you getting Baldur's Gate? What's up, dude?"
I let her do it for me because I would grill you even harder about it. I like take you by the nape of your neck and be like, "You're gonna buy the game right now, motherfucker."
Buy it, damn it.
Conor has it.
I have it. I haven't played it because I have a whole backlog of other games I want to play. And
all of that and play Baldur's Gate right now.
no,
Literally exit out of StreamYard and go play Baldur's Gate.
No.
We gotta know.
No, I mean, it's funny. Game tangent. It's just like this is the exact scenario I wanted to be in because I was playing Outlaws couple of months ago and I just kind of had like an epiphany of like I've been playing the same like 3 games for the past couple months. I need more games. So I just bought a bunch of PS2 and PS3 games
that long because goddamn.
Yeah, I've been trying to get into more different games and stuff. I've barely played my PS5 since I got it.
So like I've just been playing I have a bunch of PS3 games, and the 2 games I'm excited to play again are, well, the one I have never played before, which is the Lego Clone Wars game.
Oh, that's so much fun.
Never played it, so I'm excited. And then I'm excited to replay the complete saga. So
I will say, if anybody's interested in Pokemon and knows anything about emulation,
I never grew up with Pokemon.
Pokemon Unbound, it's a ROM hack.
Yeah, you've been on the Pokemon Unbound train for a minute.
But anyway, turn-based combat.
Yeah.
When it comes to turn-based, it's weird because when it comes to turn-based combat for me in video games, I can't stand it. I don't like it. I don't want to do it. But yet, there have been rare times where I'll play like D&D with people. And I guess because I'm actually doing it either online or mostly in person, it's much easier to digest, and I don't even really think about the fact that it's turn-based. So I'm like, all right, cool. This is what we're doing now. So I'm not sure about this game. I'll probably like it if I get it, but we'll see.
I personally am very excited for this. Like I said, I had the similar aversion to turn-based combat. Playing Baldur's Gate really opened me up to it because it makes you really think about the action economy begs you to take a moment and consider your options and like the resource management of it all.
Joke's on you. I never consider my options.
Well, I mean, yeah, you just said you were playing the same game for like 5 months. Even though it's mind-numbingly boring and buggy and whatever.
I just like the sense of adventure. That's the
Hey,
thing that
I will
Outlaws
never take away your
really.
sense of adventure.
Listen,
Yeah.
man, I'm a whimsical guy. Okay.
I mean, again, just for me at least, Outlaws just nails that sense of adventure because there's just something about like going from like Tatooine to like Kajimi and just flying from there, from like going up into space, going to hyperspace, and then going to that place. I'm like, fuck yeah.
It's awesome. I will not take that from you. I just had such a unpleasant experience playing Outlaws at launch that
But
it
there have been some times, I will say. I love driving around and everything, but there have been some times where I'm like, all right, I need something more to do. So
it's
I get you.
nah. But no, but I really do like the turn-based element here, and I think bringing that to Star Wars in general, I think is really inspired. Especially like with this like super diverse cast of characters. You know, like again, you have your scoundrel kind of like, Han Solo template gunslinger. We have this Jedi, we have a clone trooper, more traditional soldier. We have this Mandalorian, so you kind of get that like commando weapon specialist vibe, and then the Umbaran with the huge rifle. I can only assume is going to be a sharpshooter of some sort, and then the Astro Droid is probably going to be a support class of some type. Like this lineup right here already is very exciting. And I also think it is worthy of praise to go, oh, thank God they didn't do another game set during the OT or during the Dark Times in general. Because this has thrown us all the way back to the Clone Wars. Which, yeah, there's a whole show exploring that time. But there's still a lot of Clone Wars that is left unexplored by virtue of the fact that the Clone Wars show followed Obi-Wan, Anakin, and Ahsoka for the most part. So there's a lot on the board there to tell some really interesting stories, as well as just get into a really fun vehicle for combat. We will have more to talk about with this at Celebration. But yeah, with that said, what are we expecting from Celebration, gentlemen? What are we hoping for from Celebration?
I'm hoping for some Ahsoka season 2 stuff.
Ahsoka has a panel. There is an Ahsoka panel. They just started filming in the last week or two. So I don't think we're going to be
Interesting.
getting a teaser. I do think we're going to get I think we're going to get a lot of concept art.
Yeah.
I think we're going to get our first look at Rory McCann as Balin Skull.
Okay. I
think-
mean, I'm cool with that too. I need to see what he looks like as Balin.
I think we're going to get our first look at our new Balin. I think that the front chunk of the panel is going to be dedicated to Ray Stevenson. I think they're going to take some time to celebrate his performance, celebrate his time in Star Wars, and as an actor, as a performer, as an artist, and kind of give him his due there. I think a lot of it's going to be a few set photos that they already have. I think it's going to be a lot of concept art, and I think they're going to leave us with Roy McCann in, showing us how Balin is going to look moving forward. And obviously, they're going to tee up story beats and stuff like that. We might get it. They might do a small look for the people in attendance, but I think the most we at home are going to get is going to be like, hey, new look for Balin Skull. There's the new actor. We're going to give you a year and a half to get used to it, starting now, So I think that's going to be it for Ahsoka. Like I said, just because they started filming so recently,
Do we know what panels? Again, I am not caught up on anything.
No, you're good. You're good. Here, I can give the
there's
full
Mando and
list of
Grogu
panels.
panel, right?
Again,
That is going to
I
be
am
the
like-
opener of the.
I am like
of the show.
Philly's Jose Bautista. I'm cooked.
I really hope somebody at home understands everything he's saying because it sounds like you're speaking fucking Huttese.
Long story short, Jose Bautista was a really good ball player at one point, mainly with the Toronto Blue Jays. And then I guess like near the tail end of his career, he played for the Phillies and like was not great. I don't know.
So our full list here. I'm just going to read all the panels that are happening. Or actually, no disrespect to the panels that are happening, because obviously we have things like, very importantly, do I have a picture for it? I don't. Everybody watching this, go ahead and subscribe to the Bombadcast if you aren't already, and set on a notification for Scotty's panels live stream. There's a very, very cool announcement at the end of it. I know what it is, and it is fucking wild. And I'm sworn to secrecy, so I'm not even going to tell these guys. All I can tell them is to catch that panel at Celebration.
When's his panel?
Yeah, what time is it?
It's at like 2 a.m. our time. So
Fuck.
watch it when
Sick.
you wake up. Watch it when you wake up.
I'll watch it
while you're getting
live.
ready
That's
for work.
perfect.
Wait, what day is it?
Saturday.
Damn.
Hold on.
I'll have work.
Publishing.
I hate working in a museum because I don't like working weekends.
Give me 1 minute here.
Conor, what museum do you work at?
I don't feel like saying.
Oh, that's fair. I guess we're
Yeah,
on.
don't dox yourself, Connor.
We're on the internet. I'm so sorry. I forgot about that. I'm just
Listen,
chatting with
man.
my friends.
Yeah, listen, I get it, man. That's why that's not really part of why I'm deleting most of my social media. I'm just starting to delete most of my social media because I'm like,
I
the
don't
vibes
like
be
this
off.
anymore. The vibes are
Yeah,
not
that's
great
fair.
anymore. Hold on.
So I'm not going to get into why the vibes are off because I feel like if I say what I want to say, it's not going to go well. But I think y'all know what I mean.
Oh, we know. I can't find here. Hold on. I'm just gonna go to the
I know.
Bombadcast channel. I was trying to find the stage that he's broadcasting from, and I can't find it. As they have multiple stages at Celebration. But
Listen, all I hope is that we don't get absolutely fucked like we did the last 2 years with the whole.
well, that's why I'm not live streaming during it. 1:50 a.m. is when it's going to start our time. So
I mean,
tune into
the
Bombadcast
the
channel.
time reason is not going to be. Yeah, the time zone is 100% why we're not fucking live streaming this. But
well, I mean, I think part of honestly, I think it being out of the country and so far away and so like, out of time with us, I think is why I don't think there's going to be a lot of this celebration that is exclusive to the showgoers. I think that there's going to be a lot of stuff that we see. I think every panel that we get something big, they're going to get something of medium size to keep with them. But for the most part, I think we're going to get a lot of stuff. So tune in for that. But the big panels, one moment here. And again, no disrespect to any of the people who are doing really cool panels. I'm just talking about the ones that are going to be like newsworthy, that are going to yield information. The first big panel of the show, and I'm literally reading this from the schedule I wrote to like do a run of show with Bill. Mando and Grogu is going to be at 10 a.m. Japan time, so 9 p.m. for us. Again, I don't think that is accidental because this one will also be live streamed. Because of that, I do think I think, and I'm putting it down now, and maybe it's just wishful thinking. First teaser trailer for The Mandalorian and Grogu.
I really hope so. I'm going to get so hyped.
I really think we're getting it. They wrapped principal photography like 2 months ago.
Next year, right?
Yeah, next year. We are just over a year away.
Yeah.
May
July
next year,
right?
May.
Oh, May next year. Okay. So just over a year.
Just real quick, I do hope they move that fucking date because I'm still afraid. It comes out like within a week of Avengers Doomsday. And I'm getting like flashbacks to Solo, a Star Wars story getting cannibalized by Avengers Infinity War. And
yeah.
I will not. I really don't want to do this discourse a second time now that everybody's dumber.
Yeah.
It was bad enough the first time, and now it's dumber. But I think we're getting Mando and Grogu teaser trailer, as well. Again, concept art, stills, and I think a kind of like bare bones basic teaser poster. Those are my predictions for that. Those are my hopes, at least. So we got Mando and Grogu.
I like
Then
it.
we have Lucasfilm Publishing after that, which very exciting. High Republic is ending soon, so maybe we'll get the next big publishing initiative. Maybe it'll just be a series of books that will get announced. And again, if you guys have any like hopes or dreams for what could get announced, chime in whenever. But my hope against hopes, and I don't know if it'll happen. I want them to continue and complete the story of the Acolyte in publishing.
That would be cool.
If we are not going to get future seasons, they already have a bunch of Acolyte books in the works. It takes place during the High Republic. Pretty much everybody but Justina Ireland is sticking around with Lucasfilm Publishing. Now's the time. Now is the place. The High Republic people who have already been buying and keeping up with the High Republic will be here for the Acolyte. No questions asked. Continue that story in publishing. Personally, I'd like it to be in the books, not the comics. But if you want to supplement it with comics like you did before, go for it. But I think this would be a great time and place to look at the fans of the Acolyte and go, hey, sorry about that. We promise we don't hate you. But we know the people who care the most about this story are already in this room because you all are a bunch of High Republic junkies. So I think we're going to get maybe some like last exciting looks at the, final books of the High Republic like initiative. Definitely some announcements. Who's to say what? But I think the big one is I hope, my hope against hopes, my pie in the sky prediction is the story of the Acolyte continues in Lucasfilm Publishing.
We hope so.
And I have nothing to tell me that's going to happen other than I just want it to. The last panel, again, that I think is going to yield news is going to be the animation panel, which will be at 3:30 p.m. Japan time, 2 a.m. for us.
Fantastic.
Now, it is celebrating 20 years of Lucasfilm Animation. I also think we are getting our announcement for the next full series. I have heard rumblings about what it is. I've told Kason about the rumblings I've heard. I do not want to say them on air because if they are true, I don't want to, tell tales out of school. If it is the thing I've heard it is, I'm going to be very fucking excited. And only thing I'll say, it is the only way I would not roll my eyes a little bit at another show being set during the dark times. Is the route I've heard they're going. Conor, we talked about this in the group chat we're in. So if you saw that or remember that, I don't know. I was just trying to make sure.
Based on the rumor information that has been bestowed upon me, would be pretty cool. Would be pretty sick. Would definitely be interested.
And I think if it's true, because these rumors are out there. They're not hard to find. I just fuck it. The rumblings I've seen on Reddit, it's going to be tied into Tales of the Underworld. It's going to have something to do with that. And I think it's really intelligent to use the Tales of the format to tee up the next big thing. I don't think that always has to happen, but I think it's a golden opportunity that I think they would be wasting if they didn't do it more often. So yeah, very excited for animation. And also just to look back on the last 20 years, and give a lot of those folks their flowers, especially with Bad Batch having wrapped up. Jennifer Corbett and her whole team deserve all the praise in the world. Saturday, similar cadence here, 9 p.m. for us, 10 a.m. Japan time, Andor Season 2 panel. It comes out a week after. Not even. It comes out a couple days after Celebration ends. So unless they're going to do what they did with Obi-Wan Kenobi and do a big premiere at Celebration and then drop the episodes on Disney Plus early to surprise people, maybe we'll see.
I will say though, that Obi-Wan Kenobi stuff, when it happened, that was elite. That was all time.
That was one of the best. That truly is I think it's my favorite memory of Star Wars Celebration at home. You know, like, because Conor, you were riding shotgun with me. So like, we got off air. We did 3 live streams that day. We did the, covering the news as it was coming out, doing a discussion of the news, and then we went away and then we did a discussion stream about the first 2 episodes of Kenobi. That was such a fun celebration to cover, aside from the fact that they made us watch the Willow trailer 18 fucking times a day. Nothing against Willow. Put Willow back on Disney Plus. But holy shit. Something. Anything. Then we get Kason, as you alluded to earlier. We already talked about it. Ahsoka Season 2 panel. Midnight for us, 1 p.m. for Japan. And then the last panel, again, that I think will yield news is going to be the Bit Reactor panel talking about Star Wars Zero Company. They said featuring Respawn. I know Respawn is working with Bit Reactor. The way it was phrased on StarWars.com for the panel slate, I have it written here, Bit Reactor dev panel featuring Respawn, like it was a song. And at first I thought that was Bit Reactor will talk a little bit about the turn-based game, and then we will get Jedi 3. I'm less certain of that now, because it does really feel like the Bit Reactor panel is going to be all Zero Company, but
it probably is, because, like, dude, we didn't get any news about Jedi 3. Like, we all knew Jedi 2 was going to happen, Jedi Survivor. Like, we all knew it was going to happen. But, like, we didn't get any actual news about it until
Celebration Anaheim.
Yeah. What was that, 2022?
Yeah.
Okay. Dude, I forget the years.
No, you're good. That's what I'm saying. It's like, that's why I was so certain that, like, they'd be like, hey, look at our cool turn-based game. Cameron Monaghan, would you come to the stage? Here's a teaser for Jedi 3. I mean, we still might get that. I just don't think they're going to let Zero Company get overshadowed by a more established franchise.
Yeah.
Quick pause.
What?
Speaking of Cameron Monaghan, Gavin and I are rewatching Criminal Minds.
Yeah.
He was in an episode of Criminal Minds when he was a little baby boy.
He's
the killer.
Well.
What?
He's the killer in Criminal Minds.
What the fuck?
I saw him and I said, that's Cameron. And then I saw him later and I said, that's Killer Cam.
He showed up. He said, I'm Cal Kestis.
Dude, that meme. I know exactly what baseball meme you're referring. Well, I don't know if you're referring to that meme specifically.
I am.
That kills me every time.
Do you know what meme we're referring to, Kason?
Is it from Celebration?
No. So
it's in a script format.
Yeah. So it'll be like somebody be like, oh my God, the script for The Mandalorian and Grogu leaked. And it's and a lot of the time it's kind of in bad, it's kind of in bad faith, because it's like, oh, like Favreau and Filoni only know how to write cameos. But it'll be like, it'll be like framed like the Fellowship of the Ring scene, where it's like, you have my axe and you have my sword and you have my bow, and it's like, it's Boba Fett, you have my blaster, Din Djarin, you have my baby Yoda, Bo-Katan, you have my dark saber, and in the middle of that it just says Cal Kestis. I am Cal Kestis. And it just kind of moves on past that. And it just become a thing where it's just like, I am Cal Kestis has become a meme.
I'm Cal Kestis. It just kills me.
But yeah, like I said, before they started teeing up the Bit Reactor Zero Company game, I was convinced that it would be 50-50 untitled turn-based tactical game and Jedi 3. Now I think this is all going to be Bit Reactor, and Respawn is there because they are helping develop. We might get a little bit of sizzle for Jedi 3, but like I said, I don't think they're going to want to overshadow the game. I think they might be afraid of cannibalizing it, which I get. Or, again, Star Wars Celebration, they also will just kind of drop a trailer, like in the middle of the day without a panel. That's what they did with Jedi Survivor.
That was crazy.
There wasn't a respawn panel. They had,
which I definitely found odd.
Yeah, but I mean, all they had to do was show the teaser, So I understand
Tila.
the Tila. So I understood, like, we're just gonna like I think it was like right after the Attack of the Clones 20th anniversary panel. They did that, and then they came back to the Galactic stage, and it was Anthony Carboni talking to Cameron Monaghan, and then they teed up the teaser, and then they showed it. So they could do that during the day. They could release the Jedi Survivor trailer or the Jedi 3 trailer, then do the Bit Reactor panel, and then focus mostly on Zero Company, and then do a little bit of, and we're very excited for this, and you've already seen the trailer, I'm sure, and then let that be it. So that might be the way it goes.
I mean, again, development windows are different, but it was from 2019 to 2023 with Fallen Order to Survivor, and 2023. Yeah, so it would release in like 2027. So at the very least, I wouldn't be shocked if we didn't get anything, because I feel like we'd probably get more stuff about Jedi 3 in like next year.
Maybe. Time will tell.
Who knows?
But it has been 2 years. Yeah. It's 2 years ago. So I think we are in the window to get that teaser.
Probably. Yeah, plus 2019 to 2023, like COVID probably delayed a bunch of shit for them.
That is true too. Yeah.
So it might not be that full length of time.
But they also don't have to worry about a console jump, because that was another part of it, is that they had to transition between generations. They had to go from PS4 to PS5 and Xbox Series whatever the fuck to Xbox Series whatever the shit.
Xbox One to Xbox Series. I think it was Xbox One X.
Xbone to Xbox Series X.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like I said, we'll see with the video game stuff. Day 3, again, the only big ones are going to be Star Wars Vision Season 3 or Volume 3 at 9 p.m. our time. Again, 10 a.m. Japan time. My prediction for this, personally, I think they're going to show, because they said there's going to be some sequels from Volume 1. And I think they specifically
Volume 1.
Yeah. And I think they specifically said we're getting a follow-up to the Duel.
I would need a follow-up to Ninth Jedi, man.
That's what everybody's saying. I think it's going to be a follow-up to I think whatever the follow-up to the Duel is going to be shown, and they're going to like give a full studio announcement. And I think that they're going to give a very big one to Ghibli, because they said Ghibli is going to be a part of Vision 3. But I think they're going to tell us what the Ghibli one is going to be about. I know. None of that AI slop.
So hyped. Ghibli's so good.
Ghibli is good, and stop blaspheming against it with this fucking AI garbage.
That part.
Fucking repulsive. And then the closing ceremony at 3:30 p.m. Japan time, 2:30 a.m. for us. And the big news coming out of that is where the next Star Wars Celebration is going to be. Now, if they maintain the year on, year off model, the next Star Wars Celebration will likely be in 2027, which is 50 years of Star Wars. I also think that since we have done 2 Star Wars Celebrations abroad in a row now, it's coming back to the States.
Bring them home.
I don't think they're going to do a celebration that is not in proximity to a Disney park. So we are likely getting either Orlando or Anaheim. And I think it's a coin flip between them. Part of me goes Anaheim, go back to Lucas's homeland, do it in California. Like that seems like the obvious choice. So whichever way they go, I'm excited for. But I'm just really hoping it is domestic in 2027. The only other option I think you can make an argument for location wise for 50 years of Star Wars is London, because that's where they shot a lot of the film. So like it's kind of a homecoming there as well. But they just did London.
Yeah, I would think the States makes most sense.
Yeah, I think it's coming to the States. I would put, again, it's either Orlando or Anaheim. I think the most poetic one to do is Anaheim. But it could very well be Orlando. But time will tell. Time will tell indeed. But yeah, that's like I said, that's going to be the big news panels coming out of Celebration. Again, there can be announcements and trailers happening between these panels that we can't anticipate, that are deliberately we don't know about because they want to surprise us. So, like I said before, Bill Sheehy and I are going to be live covering these every morning the day after. Because, again, just to explain the time zones here, it's about 13 hours ahead of us. So, what will be the Friday of the convention for Celebration con goers, it will really be Thursday night. So, Friday morning, we will be able to, help you guys get ready in the morning, live from Chateau de Sheehy in Kentucky, talking everything about what happened on Thursday night. And then Saturday morning, we'll be telling you everything about what happened on Friday night. Or wait a minute. On Sunday night, no, fuck me. Friday on Friday, Saturday on Saturday, and then Sunday on Sunday, because they're 13 hours ahead of us.
The
So they
horse's
will.
name is Friday.
What?
Yes.
The horse's name is Friday.
Yes. I don't know what that means.
You don't know what that means?
I don't know what that means.
Shame.
Cowboy rides into town on Friday. He stays for 3 days, and then he leaves on Friday. How did he do it?
Oh, I have heard that riddle before. There you go.
Okay.
That took me a second. I'm like, what? I'm having a strong.
Not a stroke, a shrunk.
I'm having a strong. But yeah, like I said, very exciting lineup for Celebration. I can't wait to see what all comes out of it. Roosevelt. Hey, I got a message for Roosevelt's.
Solo cam.
I have nothing but love and respect for that company. You guys make me feel great in your clothing. I feel so confident. I'm wearing your special edition 501st shirt right now. Where the fuck are the field notes for Star Wars Celebration, man? Y'all are stressing me the fuck out. I got the people who were supposed to be shopping for me in Japan and getting me the con exclusives already kicking it in goddamn Tokyo, 13 hours ahead of me. I got these chrononauts 13 hours ahead of me experiencing the future, and I'm sitting here waiting to know how much money I got to send Scotty Jarod to buy me some shirts. Come on!
Future.
It's killing me. I need to know.
You're killing me, Smalls.
DTH, you're my boy. He's bought me many meals and many beers at many meetups, but goddamn.
DTH is a dog.
DTH rules. Hey, again, a little bit of inside baseball. It pissed me off today. I put a very funny post in the Roosevelt's Facebook group because everybody thought me being like, hey, y'all, when are those celebration shows coming out? And me being all tweaky about it last week. Everybody thought that was funny. So I thought it'd be funny again this week. I put a post in there where it was like Ben Kenobi, Jedi mind tricking the stormtrooper in A New Hope. And I was like, you will give us the celebration field notes today. And they deleted my post. Ain't that a motherfucker?
Damn.
All right, bud. Back
Not
off
only
a
did
little
they
bit.
delete my post, they didn't drop the field notes today. I am dying of thirst. Anyway, That is the most first world problem to have on the planet, I'm aware. But
Fair.
all of that to say, very excited for Star Wars Celebration. It is always an exciting time, even if you're not there. The electricity is in the air. But I think that is all we have for you guys today. Like I said, please check out our live streams with Bill Sheehy. That'll be live around 11-ish a.m. Eastern Time. All 3 days of Star Wars Celebration here on the Nerd Academy Podcast YouTube channel, and we'll be dropping your podcast feeds after we're done streaming. So with that, Conor doesn't use social media much anymore. So Kason,
I use like two.
Okay, what's your two? What's your two?
Instagram, comment JFO, and Blue Sky, Depa Banana. But I barely use Blue Sky, so it's really 1.5.
Yeah.
And I use Discord, but that's Discord. I'm not gonna.
Yeah, that doesn't count. Kason, where?
You can find me on Instagram and the artist formerly known as Twitter, Cray Breezy.
Get on over to Blue Ski.
Yeah, I don't know.
Valid.
I don't know, man. It's all too much. I'm not a fan of Elon Musk, but like,
what'd you say his name? I'm not a fan of Elon Musk.
I'm not a fan of Elon Musk. Yeah, no, that guy sucks. I'm not a fan of the Swatch the car. The whole thing's bad. Not a fan of him being involved in the government.
Dude, they look like, I think I've said this on air before, but like, dude, Cybertrucks look like cars that like just stopped rendering halfway through.
Yeah,
it's bad. I shit you not, and I can tell you for a fact, whoever was driving this fucking monstrosity today thought they were the coolest person on the road, and have like never touched a woman in their life. It was this murdered out black on black on black glossy fucking Cybertruck with stark white LED headlights up front. And it's like, bro, I hate to break it to you. You are not actually in a Daft Punk music video.
The truck is his
Dude,
helmet.
I'm not going to lie.
You are not harder, better, faster, nor are you stronger. Stop, please.
I hate cars when I run. If I saw that shit, like blocking there are times where I'll be running across the intersection, and sometimes some people will just like go over the line, and I have to run in front of their cars.
Just be in the crosswalk.
And I haven't flipped people off yet, but I've come very close. If I saw that shit do that, I'd give that guy 2 fingers, man. I'd be like, you deserve.
Piss on the car.
Nah, I'd just be like, you
Stop
deserve.
trowel and piss on the car.
Nah, I'd be like, you
Connor's
deserve
pretty good idea.
nothing. I will slash your tires and break your engine.
The Cybertrucks break if they get a little bit wet. Piss on the car.
Fair enough.
But don't mess with normal Teslas, because there's a lot of people who didn't know when they bought them. Cybertruck, you don't get an excuse. I have no sympathy for a Cybertruck driver. Normal Tesla, I give you a lot of leeway. I give you a lot of leeway with a normal Tesla. Cybertruck, completely different story. But anyway, you guys can find me on Blue Sky, Instagram at Dark Jedi 2552. You can find the Nerd Academy podcast on Facebook, Blue Sky, Twitter, Instagram at Nerd Academy Podcast. Listen to us here on YouTube or on Spotify or Apple Music, wherever you get your pods. You can find me personally over at Star Wars in a Galaxy Epic Confrontations. I have a big match coming up against Scotty Holiday, an absolute barn burner of a match. It was a great match. I'm very excited for you guys to see it. Much love to Scotty Holiday. They came prepared. They honored me as a competitor. It was the first time I finally got to see somebody come in with a game tape, somebody come in knowing how to fight in the ring. It made me very happy. I'm very proud of that match. I hope you guys enjoy it. Catch it when it comes out sometime after Celebration. Ionized Bastards. We are halfway through the final season. That is also going along very well. Very exciting episode. Very exciting special guest in the most recent episode that I will not spoil for you. But I hope you tune in for that episode. Catch me on Pro and Noob on the Mitch 692 channel as we are getting towards the end of our Cowboy Bebop season. So you can find me and everything I do and everything the show does. Again, be sure to catch us for our Star Wars Celebration live coverage and for our coverage of Andor Season 2 and of our coverage of Tales of the Empire. So stay tuned for all of that. Lots of Star Wars stuff coming down the pipeline. And on the main show for coverage of Daredevil Born Again as that season wraps up as well. But that is all we have for you guys tonight. We are honored that you have joined us, and may the Force be with you always.
Stop! Move away from the cookie jar!